the analogy that I was raising before you came on was, a knot that was pretty tight. We all thought, this is going to be it. The Dubas extension, first round's done. All the stereotypes about the Maple Leafs have been erased. Well, Elliotte, they're all back, and maybe even more profound than they've been all season long. What has happened, and does this put everything once again back on the table?
Yeah, Jeff, I was wondering if, it would be better this morning and, people would go to bed. I have a rule. If you go to bed angry, you have to wake up the next day in a better mood. Now, I do confess, I do break that rule from time to time, but it's kind of the goal of what I want. And so I was thinking, would people go to bed angry last night, and would they feel better today? And the answer is a resounding no. Like people are furious, and I don't I honestly, as I said on the pod, I didn't think there was a scenario where we'd be in this position 9 days after they knocked out Tampa. I just thought the goodwill would be there, and even if they lost to Florida. And I assumed if they lost to Florida, they'd put up a real fight. It would be a tough 6-7 game series. I thought a lot of people would have said, okay, we got the fight. And, now we're not, they're down 3-0. Their best players had a really, really collective rough night. And here we are. And, I was asking some people, just about why they feel the way they do. And, I think it has a lot to do with what's happening in Edmonton. And that is when the Oilers lose, McDavid and Draisaitl are still their best players. And I think that is where a lot of this is coming from. It's that whether you win or lose, you have to go down with your best being your best. And I think that's the thing that makes people crazy right now. Honestly, Jeff, there's 2 days off before Game 4. We'll see what happens in Game 4. But I think what you're going to see is a lot of people, and I'm talking about the people who really matter here, the people who make the decisions. I think they're going to have a couple of days to collect their thoughts and think, okay, because I don't think they expected to be in this position either, and answer, what does this all mean and where are we going to go from here? Because I don't think anybody believed we'd be in this position.
It is really bizarre. And now I think we're wondering, Game 4 is on the horizon. And everybody has to wait until Wednesday. And the ball of negativity gets rolling, and it got rolling last night. It's carried into today, and there's an extra day for that ball to continue to gather here. What things are going to be like come Wednesday, and what the conversation is going to be going into Wednesday. And, one of the things that you mentioned on the podcast last night that I was thinking about this morning a lot is, if you're Sheldon Keefe, what do you do? What do you do with your lineup? What are you doing with your roster? All you're concerned about right now, if you're Sheldon Keefe, is you have to win your game because your neck is out. Every single game for the remainder of the series, your neck is out, and it all begins on Wednesday. Do you share that same curiosity? Or even more of a curiosity than last night when we signed off on the podcast, that Sheldon Keefe his decisions here are going to be really interesting to follow and really interesting to watch.
Well, my way of looking at things, Jeff, throughout life is, most of the time I really try to be a team player and say, okay, what's the best decision for the group, and I'm going to go with it. But if I've ever thought my career was really being affected by something, or if I thought that, maybe my employment was in trouble, I always said, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down my way. Okay? I'm not going to have any regrets that I let somebody else make the decisions that affected my career. So if I'm Sheldon Keefe and I'm thinking I'm in trouble here, okay, I'm going down on Wednesday night with the 18 players that I feel give me the best chance to win, and I'm putting them in whatever position I think is right. That's always you've heard me say this a billion times. I'll never judge anyone without looking at the way I judge myself. That's the only way I do it. And if I was in a situation where I really thought my employment was in trouble, I would say I'm going down my way. And so now, generally, I think that that's what you should do anyway. But, there's always politics. There's always, hey, what are we thinking organizationally? Sometimes there's organizational decisions about where we go. If I'm Keefe on Wednesday, I'm saying, you know what, this is my call, and I'm doing it the way I think is best.